Hello! When you hear the word electricity, an average person might feel a bit uneasy. I get it. Electricity is everywhere and you're used to it by now, so it doesn't scare you anymore. Well, then go ahead and stick your fingers in the socket. No? Doesn't it sound like a good idea? Why not? So maybe electricity is still a bit intimidating after all. Don't worry, I'll explain everything and soon it won't be scary at all. I bet most of you have heard about a device called a residual current device. This is the device that protects you from electric shocks. In fact, it's the only device designed specifically to protect human life from electrical hazards. A lot of electrical protection devices are there to safeguard your wiring, appliance, and overall system, not your personal safety. Or are there others? I can think of any more devices specifically meant to protect a person's life from electricity. Maybe a helmet, but that won't help against electric shock. If you can think of any other device, drop them in the comments. Let's discuss a highly controversial topic that sparks endless debates in electrician forums. What electrical device should be connected through an RCD and which ones shouldn't? But before we get into that, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment to help YouTube's algorithms recommend our video to more people. So, residual current device, for these who don't know, differential current protection works by monitoring the current flow through the phase conductor and ensuring the same amount returns via the natural conductor. The stronger the device connected to the network, the higher the current flow. These currents must remain balanced. Whatever enters through the RCD phase conductor must return through the neutral. If more current leaves than returns, there's a difference. Hence the name differential current protection. If the returning current is lower, it means some of it has leaked somewhere, possibly due to a damaged cable making contact with an appliance metal casing. To prevent you from becoming part of that circuit, when you touch the device, the RCD detects the imbalance and shuts off the power before the current can leak any further. Here's an example. Imagine a washing machine with a damaged power cable that's also been exposed to moisture. Some of the current is now leaking through the moisture onto the metal casing. There's no direct short circuit since the fast conductor isn't making direct contact with the casing. It's just leaking through the moisture. This leakage current might not be high enough to trip a standard circuit breaker, but it could still be dangerous for a human. A safe current limit for a person is considered to be 30 milliamps, although the exact limit depends on various factors. To prevent you from receiving a dangerous shock, RCDs are used. RCDs come with the different sensitivity levels: 10 milliamps, 30 milliamps, 100 milliamps and 300 milliamps. Each level serves a different purpose. A 10 milliamps RCD is highly sensitive and is typically used in wet rooms, mainly bathroom or laundry rooms. These RCDs are more expensive than the standard 30 milliamps models, but they will trip at even the smallest leakage current, ensuring maximum protection against electric shock. As I mentioned, these highly sensitive RCDs are used for appliances in wet areas, washing machines, tumble dryers, whirlpool baths, if you have one, and other devices in high humidity environments. If an appliance is in a bathroom, a 10 mA RCD should be installed. Yes, a 10 mA RCD might cost a bit more, but when someone gets shocked with the 30 mA, that extra cost suddenly doesn't seem like a big deal anymore. Keep that in the mind. Next, we have 30 mA residual current devices. These are the standard choice. About 90% of the RCDs in your panel will be 30 mA. 90%? I have just one RCD for my entire house. Well, if that's the case of you, toad luck. Where should we use 30 mA RCD? The first place is the kitchen. We always connect all kitchen's appliances through the RCD. This includes cooktops, microwave, dishwashers, ovens, and general kitchen worktop sockets. The reason is simple. The kitchen is a place with the heat and moisture. Tasty food might not be dangerous, except maybe for your waistline. But heat and moisture affects electrical appliances, which can cause leakage currents on their metal casing. Heat can, in rare cases, melt insulation, creating a leakage current. Imagine you're baking a pie, you reach for the oven handle and that is it. No one's left to finish the pie. The same goes for handling wet appliances. You're working with the water, moving small kitchen devices around, and many of them don't even have grounding. One wrong move, you grab a blender with wet hands and boom! No one to finish making the puree. A kitchen is basically a workshop full of electrical hazard points, so we always need to protect it with an RCD. Typically, we use a three-phase RCD in the kitchen. The main reason is cost efficiency. If we install a separate RCDs or combination breaker for each circuit, it becomes more expensive and takes up more space in the panel. Instead, we take a single three-phase RCD and connect all kitchen appliances through it, distributing loads across phases. However, there are two important things to consider. First, if a leakage current appears in one of the kitchen circuits, the entire kitchen's power will shut down. To make future troubleshooting easier, it's best to label the natural conductors for each circuit when installing a three-phase RCD. Second, I've heard of cases where certain brands of RCDs, due to internal defects, fail to reconnect the neutral contact after tripping. This results in the three-phase powering begins supplying without a neutral, frying a lot of kitchen appliances. And then people ask me, Manfred, why do you always install a hacker? Well, because so far I haven't seen these kinds of failures with the hacker. Now that we covered the kitchen, let's talk about your yard. Outdoor area, or whatever you like to call it, all outdoor sockets should ideally be connected through a residual current device. Why? Because outdoor sockets and electrical equipment are always at risk of moisture exposure. Picture this: it rains, you go outside, plug something into the outlet and, well, congratulations, you just saved 30 euros by skipping the RCD for your outdoor circuit. If you value your life more than 30 euros, I highly recommend installing an RCD for outdoor sockets. I always say that lightning circuits generally don't need RCD protection. But there are exceptions, like your outdoor facade lighting. If your house has a standard or even more importantly a wooden facade, then I strongly recommend running your facade lighting through an RCD. And in this case, it's not just about your personal safety, it's about fire safety. We have seen this multiple times. Customers call us saying their facade lighting keeps tripping the breaker. We investigate, start removing light fixtures, and surprise, water inside the fixture. By the time a breaker trips, the leakage current is already over the amps, which means metal components, contacts, and wires inside the fixture have been heating up. If this goes unnoticed, there are two possible outcomes. An electrician find the problem and fix it, or nobody finds the issue and the house burns down. That's why it's always smart to install RCD protection for facade lighting. Expensive? Yes. But what was the alternative? If you plan on installing an electric vehicle charging station in the future, and let's be honest, even if you swear you'll stick with the diesel, you'll probably switch at some point, and RCD is also a must. EV charging stations require RCD protection, typically of Type A or even Type B. Type A RCDs protects against pulsed DC leakage currents, which can be found in any electrical device with a power supply: computers, washing machines, dishwashers, or any appliance with electronic control system. Type B residual current device is designed to detect direct current DC leakage, which is present in electric vehicle batteries and fast chargers. However, whatever you actually need, a Type B RCD depends on your charging station. If the EV charger has built-in RCD filter, then Type A RCD is sufficient. But if the charger lacks this internal filter, you'll have to invest a few extra €100 in a Type B RCD, which is significantly more expensive than Type A. Now that we covered EV charging station, let's move on. Rooms and their power outlets. Is a residual current device necessary for standard rooms? This is a frequently debated topic, but if you want extra protection against electric shock in your home, installing an RCD for individual rooms is definitely a good idea. Speaking of rooms, if you're working on public buildings, you probably know that in schools and kindergartens, regulations require that all power outlets be protected by an RCD. Children are naturally curious and tend to stick their fingers in the sockets. If this happens at home, it's your responsibility, but if it happens in a kindergarten or school, the institution is liable. That's why additional RCD protection is mandatory in such facility. In addition to RCDs, child-proof sockets with a built-in safety mechanism can be installed. However, kids can be persistent and some won't stop until they manage to break the safety mechanism. That's why kindergartens are required to install RCD as an extra layer of protection. At home, it's up to you and your budget to decide if you want RCD protection in your rooms. That being said, an RCD is not a magic solution. Keep an eye on children around electrical installation is always essential. A very common question is whether an RCD is necessary for a lifetime. As we have already discussed, residual current devices are primarily used to protect people from electric shock. If you often walk on ceilings and frequently touch your light fixtures, then sure, installing an RCD for your lighting might make sense. However, if the light fixtures are in easily accessible place, such as wall-mounted lamps that can be easily pulled out or adjusted, then installing an RCD for them will be a good safety measure. On the other hand, for ceiling light, there is a little practical benefit in using an RCD. The only exception will be in the wiring runs through the wooden structure and you are concerned about potential cable damage that could lead to a fire hazard. In such cases, additional protection might be justified. Now, let's talk about 100 and 300 residual current devices. These types of RCDs are primarily used as fire protection device rather than for personal safety. They are commonly installed in wooden houses or buildings with increased fire safety requirements. Unlike standard 30 milliamps RCDs, which protect people from electric shocks. 100 and 300 milliamps RCDs are designed to prevent electrical fires by detecting leakage currents that could lead to overheating and ignition. These RCDs are usually installed at the main electrical panel as the first protective device. The incoming power cable passes through the high sensitivity RCD first, and then electricity is distributed throughout the house, where additional 30 milliamps RCD are installed for personal protection in specific circuits. Let me know in the comments if you have RCDs installed in your home and what type you use. Subscribe to the channel, install your electrical system correctly, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next video.